What is going on? So, I'm a filthy wreck, but that's okay, because you know what I'm saying? We out here. So, I want to show you guys where I'm at right now with the conversion, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm super motivated. So, let me show you what I got going on down here. So, here is the wagon arm. We have an axle in, and we have the CRV diff. CRV diff is in place. I took the mount off of the CRV rear subframe. Let me take you guys over to the other side so you can see a little better. Walk on over here. Oh, look at that Bozer's Oku pipe. That's crazy. All right. Huh, there goes the other camber arm right there. Wild. All right. So here's where we are at currently right now. Let me move this out of the way. So now, mind you, everything is just kind of mocked up. I don't know if you can see that, but that is the CRV rear subframe mount, and it is bolted in. Now, the mount on the subframe is touching the floor. That does have to get beat in a little bit, and then you can kind of see the gap in between the mount per se right here. Yeah, that is just all tacked into place. I can just remove it if I wanted to, but it is centered. Everything lined up perfectly. As far as mounting it goes, I did use some straight edges and a level, and it did turn out pretty good. Now, mind you, the mount is not sitting like, if you're looking at it like this, it is cocked a little forward, but that's okay because, I mean, ultimately a bolt's going through it and it just has to pretty much just sit there. So that's pretty good. Now, given that I don't have the Wagon, let me get this light over here. Now, given that I don't have the provisions for I just ran a piece of metal into my hand. That was great. Now, given, again, that I don't have the provisions, like, threads, I am going to have to make do with this one here. Normally, this is the one that has the threads in it for the mount. Mine does not. And I'm going to show you guys how you can use this CRV differential bracket or mount, brace, subframe, whatever you want to call this, specifically to get the CRV differential to the chassis. So I will be, in my next update, I will be going over this specifically and what you're going to have to do to make this specific mount work on the diff. And then once that's done, it will be ready to go. This one is in really fair condition, and I'm pretty happy with it. So the only thing I need to do now is do the other trailing arm, and that's pretty much the only thing holding me up right now besides this. And then once that's all mocked into place, I can throw the engine in and then start doing the drive shaft. One thing to note when you are doing this on a front wheel drive car, or at least a wagon, that bracket right there does have to come off because it is really interfering with it all. I'm not saying that it absolutely has to come off, but from what I can tell, it's gonna kind of interfere with the way that it's going. I'm going to have to lower the differential because it is kind of pointed up a little bit, but I mean, that's fine for right now. It's not going to hurt anything. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the provisions here. Now, I do have a couple ideas, given that this is thicker metal. I do have a couple ideas on what I want to do with that per se, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm still kind of, bless you. I am kind of going over some ideas on what I want to do with that. Now, normally, what I would want to do is run, like I've seen some people just, run a bolt all the way through up into the cabin, and then they just bolt it, and then they call it a day. I want to do something a little different, given that the hole is already there. Now, this one here, and I can't really point to it on the other side. It is this one right there at the tip of my finger. If it focuses, that one that I'm pointing right to it. That one also mounts up with the diff. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not that one. That's a terrible mistake. It's not that one right there. That one right there. That's the one that mounts with it. See if I can't put the line up here. There you go. Now you can kind of see. I mean, it'll be a little easier, but it's not the end of the world with working with this chassis frame, because this is still kind of thick metal. So what I want to do is come up with a insert idea, possibly to utilize that mount. And then we'll go from there and see what I'm coming up with. But the main thing to get done is the modifying of this, of the CRV brace right here, and come up with some ideas on how we're going to make that work. So in my next update, I will be going over this, how to modify it and get it rocking on your CRV differential. Now, when it comes to the mounting a CRV diff in an actual Wagon van, I'm pretty sure they can swap right over. Don't quote me on that, because obviously I don't actually have a real-time four-wheel drive wagon. This obviously is a clone and or conversion. So I'm not sure if the same thing will work, but given that these chassis are super identical, I'm sure that it probably will. Now a lot of the information online about these wagons is few and far, and it's not really good. Got dirt all over my face. The old threads on like Wagon Club and Wagon Nation, or I think whatever it is, they're not obviously active anymore, and people stopped posting on them. So I'm kind of winging it. I know that there's a lot of videos on YouTube, but that's only for utilizing all CRV stuff. Given that I'm kind of doing like a hybrid build of just a mixture of the CRV and Wagon, there's not any information on that. So as far as using the CRV and Wagon components, it's either one or the other from what I've seen. And that was back when, I think like 10 years ago was the last thread that I looked at, when Wagon van prices weren't astronomical. So I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to get cracking on the rear subframe for the diff, and then I'll probably cut that off for the night and then pick up tomorrow. And I'll start working on the other trailing arm and the mounts for the rear differential, like plate system or whatever. Like I said, I haven't really solidified on what I want to do, but I got some ideas. So that's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow. And yeah, we'll pick it up from there, guys. So stay tuned, and thanks again for watching. Appreciate y'all. Good morning, people. I hope everyone is having an awesome, good, and blessed day this morning. Last night where we left off, we had made a bunch of progress on getting the CRV and Wagon parts fitted to the wagon. Today, I want to clean up the garage, organize some parts, and I want to make some progress on the differential support or bracket or frame, whatever you want to call it, mount. I want to try to get some stuff. Oh, excuse me. I want to try to get some stuff done on the wagon in itself. Let me show you. So, for the wagon part of it, I want to try to get the front and the back of the cowl done and the window seal clean and ready to go. I want to get this part of the engine bay or chassis frame or body painted. I want to get the door frame or door jamb, cleaned and somewhat ready to go. I'm going to be completely doing this trailing arm today and getting it into the same spot and position as the other one was, so we can get that on the car and kind of fit it up. And then I'm going to be getting this done too. Now, like I said, I'm going to be going over everything that I'm going to do in order to make this work. Again, this is not the only way or the right way, but it's my way that I'm going to be doing to get this to work. Now, like I said, all of the things that I have been doing for this conversion and or swap is just the way that I've been doing it. Again, it's not the only way or the right way or, the best possible, way to do it. But again, if all of this helps somebody on the internet and it makes it a little easier for somebody, then cool. I'm happy about it. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start cleaning and organizing and getting some stuff ready. Evan's going to be on his way here shortly, I think, because he said he'd get here around like 8 or 9, and it's like 7:30-ish right now. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start cleaning, organizing, and then I'm going to start working on the differential mount, and then I will be showing you guys the progress on that and how I did that. So grab you some lickies and chewies and keep watching. Okay, so here is the trailing arm, and let me show you the steps that I've taken so far in order to get it to this state. So as you can see, I got my hole drilled. Now mind you, this is supposed to be a 3-inch hole. However, like I said earlier, it is a bit bigger than the hole saw. So if you get it done right, your bearing should fit down in there with there's rotation, but there's no back and forth or up and down play. As you can see, there's no back and forth or up and down play, which is what you want. Now, let me take the bearing out and I will show you the spot welds that you have to remove in order to do this. So, you have your 3 for your brake line bracket. You have one tucked in that corner, and you have one tucked in that corner. Those are, well, at least this one down here. This one here is a kind of a pain to get to. You have these 5, you have these 3, and then you have 2 more right here, which I had to cut. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bearing, flip it upside down, place the trailing arm on top of it, and mark my holes. Once I get it aligned where I need it to, I'm going to mark the holes and drill them, place my washers down, weld it all up, and once it's at that point in the stage, I will shoot you guys some more progress on that. Hope you enjoy. All right, here we are. The second arm is pretty much completed, aside from the painting and the cleaning up and making it look really nice. For that part's not finished yet, obviously, but this is what I would consider. I'm done welding, I'm done cutting, grinding, drilling, all that has been completed, and it's ready to get mocked up to the car. I did have to go to Home Depot and get some new bolts for the mounting, because I kind of used my trailing arm bolts, or I'm sorry, the camber arm bolts for the last one, so just for mock-up purposes, so I had to go out and get new ones. If anybody needs a replacement Honda bolt for like seats or camber arms or anything like that, the M10 by 1.25 by 25 millimeter are perfect for a lot of applications. It's a 13 millimeter head socket. It kind of tricked me out. I thought it was a 14, but it wasn't. But hey, it is what it is. But it was like $5 for the bolts. that's what the back looks like. I ended up fixing the issue with my welder, so the back ended up coming out beautifully compared to the other one. But as you can see, it is a straight bearing, and she is ready to get mocked up onto the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mock that up, get the axle in, and clean up a little bit. For whatever reason, I wish this light would stop turning off. Even though I lock it, still turns off. So, as of now, all we have to do is get the axle in, get the trailing arm on, and then we can start working on the CRV differential and the diff mount or diff support. Now, I did already start the CRV diff support and the Wagon subframe, so that's good to go. So now, right now, that's what I'm kind of working on, is getting those things put up right now. And then once that's done, we'll totally go from there and seeing what I have to do in order to get that done. Pretty much at this stage, it's a lot of bolting things on, bolting things off, measuring, looking at certain things, and going from there. A lot of rinse and repeat, but we're close. If I'd have a drive shaft, I'd throw the engine in so I could do the whole drive shaft system, but I don't have a drive shaft. So that part's going to have to wait. Plus, I still have to fix one of the bolt holes on the transmission and on the back of the engine. So I will probably be doing that later today, since I've already got everything out and I've been welding and doing all that stuff. Might as well knock that out today too, possibly. Yeah, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is get the trailing arm mocked up to the car. And then once that's done, I will give you guys a little overview of everything that's been bolted up to the car and what I'm doing to make it all work. And as just kind of like a little overview of the progress. So I'll pick up here in a minute. See ya. What is going on? So the update on the Wagon. Trailing arms were done when we left off in the last update. Everything that I could get to was mounted, and I will show you what we are working with today. So, as you can see, the rear differential is underneath of the car. Now, the differences on axles, and this is why the diff is right here. The CRV has different length axles on both sides. Driver's side is longer than the passenger side. The same is true for the Civic Wagon. The driver and passenger are different lengths. Now, the Wagon real-time four-wheel drive axles are both shorter than the CRV axles. Now, given that we are using first-generation CRV axles, that is the best location for my diff. Obviously, that's not where it's going to be mounted, but as of right now, giving the axles and their different lengths, that is the only spot that I can get it. I cannot get it up any higher because it'll push the differential forward and off the jack. So the solution for this is, if you do this particular type of setup, you either A, have to buy custom axles, make your own axles, or you go out and you get Civic real-time four-wheel drive axles. Now, me personally, I'm going to be custom making my own axles for this setup, and I'm going to be doing that probably sometime this weekend or sometime in the near future. But as of right now, this is where we are at with the rear end progress. Both trailing arms are done and mocked into place, and I think we've made some good progress, both Evan and I, on getting some of this done. Now, when it comes to the CRV bracket or diff support, I took the spot welds off the bottoms and I trimmed the top portions of the bushings just so it gets some better clearance. Now, in order to make this work better and sit flush with the CRV diff, you will have to trim these. Now, the long bolts do sit way down in there, so you can cut a little bit of the top piece off, maybe about ½ an inch, right to where the little fin kind of curves up. You can flatten it out there, and it'll give you some more clearance to get this diff sitting where it's supposed to. Now, I did tack weld the perch back here where the CRV mount is, just to get it into place to kind of see where we're at, and that's where we're going to be leaving it for now. Now, with the engine and trans, I started taking apart the front subframe because I'm going to get that cleaned and reconditioned. I'm going to check all the threads, make sure they're all good and everything of the sort, and I'm going to wash it, clean it, and paint it, and then that's going to be installed in the car later today, as well as the transmission and the engine. I'm going to focus on fixing the back of the engine today because there is a little problem with the D16 Alpha 8, and I will show you what I am talking about. And get her spun around real quick. Now, given that this does use B-series axles, you can see that there is these provisions here for the intermediate shaft. Now, the intermediate shaft that I have, this one here, was modified. As you can see, it was cut. Problem with that is it only mates into one of the holes, and I do believe it was this one right here. So as you can see, it fits into this one, but I just don't want to run one bolt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bracket that will mate with all three of these holes later today, so that way we can get this axle in 100% and it's good to go. And then after that's done, we'll be putting it inside the car. Now, given that, like I said, I'm using Wagon parts and CRV parts, it's not really that complicated of a swap. The fabrication is the most complicated part of it. So that is what I'm going to plan for today, and that is the end goal for today, is to end today with the engine, transmission bolted in the car with the subframe, and possibly getting the rear differential and the axles made. So that's kind of where we're at with that today, and I'm kind of hoping that I can achieve that goal to get that done. And once I start having some progress on all that, I'll pick it back up on the video and I will show you what we've got working with. Generally, I really didn't want to have to modify the axles, but I kind of figured I would be modifying the axles in some way, shape, or form, given that there are a lot of different options. But I personally, for me, I don't want to spend the money on the custom axles and them potentially not fit. There are a lot of Civic all-wheel drive swaps that use 2 short CRV axles or 2 short Wagon axles, and then there's just a lot of different research when it comes to using OEM Honda axles. Now again, I could go to Hasport or S1 or any of the companies and just pick up, you know, a custom set of axles, but my thing is I don't want to spend the money on those axles and then for whatever reason have them not work. Not saying that they won't, but for right now I kind of want to get an idea of what I'm looking at for axles, and then once everything's mounted and ready to go, then I can get an idea of what axles I'm going to be shopping for later down the road. This car probably isn't going to be on the road for some time, so of course I've got time to make my parts and get an idea of what I'm going to be looking for. So I will be cutting it off here, and I will be picking it up later. Once the engine is ready to go into the car, I'll be recording that whole ordeal, and we'll be putting that on a time lapse. And then possibly the subframe. I might do just like a little montage of me doing the front subframe later. But yeah, other than that, I will end it here, and I will be picking it up later today. We got to go to Firestone and pick up Evan's car, and then run and get a few supplies. So that's what I'll be doing, and I will be picking you guys up later. So I will see you. Now, as you can see, we got the subframe super clean, and it's looking pretty good. I almost just might put it in the car as is, but of course I want to paint it and make it look nice and everything else of the sort. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take it inside after it's been drying out here for a while, and we're going to sand it, scuff it, and oof, that sun was terrible. We're going to take it inside after it's been drying, sand it down, prime it, paint it, and get it ready to put in the car. So I'll pick you all up when we start that adventure. So as you can see, I ended up seeing some Rust-Oleum sitting on my shelf, so I figured Rust-Oleum undercoating might be a way better idea than just painting it. But it didn't turn out too bad. I think it turned out pretty good. Now, my garage is at 70 degrees right now, so I'll let this sit for a few hours and then flip her over and then re-go through it. But overall, not too bad at all for a good job. We'll let that sit, and then after that, we'll put it on the car once I get that and that back in the car, once I fix the thread holes on the back for the axle. So that's what the goal is for today, is to get the swap back into the car, get the subframe on, get 3 mounts up, so that way I can get a good idea of what I'm going to do to mount the drive shaft, where I'm going to be aligning it. And then after that, we'll be revisiting the rear end, because I know I left off early in this video where you know, I got kind of stuck due to the axles. Not a big deal. So when Evan gets back, we're going to start doing the engine and transmission, and doing some more paint and body work. So I will catch you guys. Well, the axle is complete and done and ready to go. Turned out all right. I'm happy with it. I had to make a little bit of a template, obviously with cardboard, and then I just put my bolts all the way through it, and then I bolted up and then made my extra my bits. So that's all put back together. Engine and trans are ready to go. This is officially dry and ready to go. Yes, I'm still watching. Thought I turned that off. Sometimes it's annoying when that happens. So now the only thing we have to do is get the engine, transmission, or swap and subframe and mounts into the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Whoa, how'd that get there? So here are the updates on the Civic Wagon. Evan and I made a lot of progress, and here's what we've gotten done, and here's some things I'll go over just so you guys are aware if you're either wanting to do this, just want some information, or whatever the case. So for my front-wheel drive wagon, when putting the real-time four-wheel drive transmission into the chassis, I had two options. You either have to swap out the frame bracket for the real-time four-wheel drive one, because it is in fact different. It actually sticks up higher. I actually just made my own mount, and as you can see, she is level and sitting good. So it's pretty nice to see the swap sitting in there. All the mounts are good to go, and I'm super happy. As far as the rest of the front goes, I'm waiting to get my radiator before I start hacking up this lower piece and doing that, so I'm leaving that alone for right now. As you can see, some of the interior has been laid out on the floor. Evan and I are going through and we're kind of looking at what we're reconditioning, what we want to throw away and stuff like that, what needs to be super cleaned, and just kind of what really is just not going to be used anymore. And yeah, I'm kind of got mixed feelings on it, but I mean, we'll get there eventually. Now, as far as the rear end, it is mostly complete. The trailing arms are done and everything of the sort. Obviously, I'm going to have to take them off, super clean them, spray paint them, make them look nice, and then get all the matching hardware and stuff ready to go. As far as the axle goes, like I said, I covered a lot of that earlier on in the video. I'm going to wait to mess with the axles and the rear diff bracket or rear diff support probably next weekend or the weekend after that, just because I want to sit down and go over a bunch of different ideas and thoughts on how I really want to do that, because once I start doing that, there's really no turning back. So I really want to sit down and have a concrete plan for that, moving forward from that, so that I can get squared away. Now, as you can see, we've started doing some wiring. Yay, wiring. We've gotten a little bit done. Not a lot, but a little bit. We also got the shifter gearbox mounted. I don't have the little clamps that go down on the cable, so we had to use cable worm ties just to go through the gears so we can make sure everything was functional and good to go. I did end up finish painting the cowls and everything of that nature. So we also started putting a few little things inside the car, like we got the windshield wiper arms put in, and we are working on the passenger side wire tuck. Now this side is done for right now, and I think it turned out absolutely awesome. Evan and I killed it with this, I think. I didn't put the door harness through here yet because it's just some speaker wires, really, is all it is. And then I'm just going to obviously have to remake the grommet anyways. So that's not really a huge deal. But we used some Pete clamps, some rib nuts, and some Allen bolts that I had. And this turned out absolutely awesome. And then we've got the plugs here laid out for the high beam and the low beam. So that is where we're at with this, and later throughout the week I'll probably be doing some minor things of that nature. Not 100% sure yet, but we'll get there when we get there. Now the biggest thing with this wagon is there has been a lot of winging it DIY stuff and custom fabrication, and I think it's turning out really awesome. I'm really fortunate to have not only the skill set, but a buddy like Evan to come over here and kind of help with it, and that's just something I'm really grateful for. My biggest thing is that I appreciate all of the viewers and subscribers that I've gotten so far on my social media followings. I do really appreciate that, and I do appreciate some of the information and advice that I'm getting from some of the other Wagon guys and guys that have done this a lot longer than I have when it comes to specific EF models. So that's where we're ending it on the long weekend video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. For those who saw it, I hope you guys comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.